Hello students, we are going to start a new module, Module 4, Organic and Non-Organic Words. Lesson topic is discussing the difference between organic and non-organic food. My name is Kulbera Sakenna. I am very glad to meet you at our English lesson. Learning objectives are to understand main points in extended text on a wide range of familiar or some unfamiliar general and curricular topics, to deduce meaning from context in extended texts on a wide range of familiar, general, and curricular topics, and some unfamiliar topics. Lesson objectives are deduce meaning from context in extended text, understand specific information in unsupported extended talk. Assessment criteria, identify specific information in unsupported extended talk, explain and justify point of view. So, in this module, we are going to talk about organic and non-organic food production, renewable energy sources, and we'll be able to use grammar, pronouns, quantifies, future perfect continuous, and also we have phrasal verbs do, drop, get, and word formation.
So now, before you watch the video, check these new words.
Compost, compost, fertilizer, fertilizer, GMO, GMO, growth, growth, ingredient, ingredient, livestock, livestock, pest, pest, pesticide, pesticide.
Okay, now let's watch the video.
Organic versus non-organic world. Do you pay attention to where your food comes from? Do you ever buy food from the organic section at the supermarket? Today, we're going to take a look at some of the differences between organic and non-organic food production. In organic food production, biological pesticides, such as ladybirds and beetles, can help reduce pests in crops. In contrast, non-organic farmers spray chemical pesticides to protect their crops from pests. Biological pesticides are free from harmful chemicals, so you might consider paying a little bit more to know that the food you're eating is safe. Compost is used as fertilizer on organic farms to help crops grow. However, on a non-organic farm, farmers use synthetic fertilizers to increase the growth of plants. On livestock farms, there are major differences too. An organic farmer will use animal feed that is GMO-free and only has organic ingredients. But on a non-organic farm, animals might eat food that contains synthetic substances. Livestock are sometimes given antibiotics to prevent and treat illness, and hormones to make them grow faster on non-organic farms too. The organic farmer has to work hard to make sure livestock have good living conditions in order to prevent disease. Now that you know a little more about the differences between organic and non-organic food production, are you more likely to pay attention to where your food comes from?
Okay, I hope that everything was clear. So now, match two columns. Okay, let's check how many right answers you have. Okay, task number 2. Look at the pictures and decide whether they relate to organic food production and non-organic food production. Okay, here you have the answers. Over to you. Which two things about non-organic food production have the worst effect in our health? Why? Okay, let's see my answers. I think chemical pesticides and antibiotics and hormones have the worst effect on our health because these things can have a very negative effect on the human body and can cause diseases such as cancer.
Okay.
Okay. When do we use relative, demonstrative, indefinite, reflexive pronouns and quantifiers? To answer this question, pay attention to the video.
You've been introduced to personal pronouns, but those aren't the only kind. Today we're going to learn about demonstrative pronouns. They point out or demonstrate what you're talking about. There are 2 singular and 2 plural demonstrative pronouns. There is this, that, these, and those. Whoa, those shades are boss. Do you think these shorts are too square? This wind is so strong. That is a water buffalo. Another type of pronoun is a relative pronoun. Not those kinds of relatives. These are connecting words like that, which, who, whom, and whose. A relative pronoun begins a subordinate clause and connects it to another idea in the same sentence. Here's the earring that Tara lost. Felix bought our old car, which needs to be repaired. She is a painter who has an unusual talent. Is this the woman whom you saw earlier? She is the one whose house has a new alarm. That is the book critiqued in the newspaper. Hold up, that has no relative pronoun in that sentence. So this chart's from the grammar book. But we're smart enough to realize that the word that in the sentence is not a relative pronoun. It's actually a demonstrative pronoun because it points out what book it is. That is the book. Okay, moving on. So, Scamper chased the ball. That was under the bed. These are relative pronouns because they connect our subordinate clause with the independent clause in a sentence. Again, there are 5 of these: that, which, who, whom, and whose. That brings us to our last pronoun for today. These are interrogative pronouns. You've probably heard of the word interrogate when someone is being questioned. All 5 interrogative pronouns begin with W. They are what, which, who, whom, and whose. That was for you, fans of the squeaking stylist. Here they are in some sentences. What did the teacher say? I got a little carried away there. Which is the best tutoring center? Who wants to run a mile with me? From whom will you receive the loan? Whose manuscript was chosen for publication? Those of you who noticed that some of the interrogative pronouns are the same as the relative pronouns, give yourself a big pat on the back. Just keep in mind, interrogative pronouns ask questions and are usually toward the beginning of the sentence. Who was your favorite trick-or-treater? Relative pronouns, on the other hand, combine clauses. It was definitely the one who wore the green spandex jumpsuit. So, it was definitely the one is my independent clause. Who wore the green jumpsuit is the subordinate clause. And it all starts off with that word, who. Recap. A demonstrative pronoun points to a specific person, place, or thing. There are 4 of these. This, that, these, and those. It's kind of fun to chant these. This, that, these, and those. This, that, these, and those. A relative pronoun begins a subordinate clause and connects it to another idea in the same sentence. There are 5. That, which, who, whom, and whose. And then finally, an interrogative pronoun is used to begin a question. There are 5. What, which, who, whom, and whose. You don't have to tell the difference between who and whom now, but don't worry, it's coming.
So, okay. Now complete the task. Choose the correct option. Let's check. So, my friends, summing up the lesson, I want to ask, what made you happy and what upset you? So, your home task will be to read the text and translate at the page 50 and 51 from student's book. And exercise 7, match and complete the sentences from student's book and answer the question, how do non-organic farming methods have a negative impact on the environment? So the lesson is over. Goodbye.